Hey guys, Digbik here. Purpose of this video is to cover our Titan Canyon defensive strategy. Now, what the defensive strategy, when it's used, is when we really don't think that we can be competitive in our Titan Canyon matchup. It's a bad matchup. We're probably the weakest on the map, and we're not able to take and hold additional corners. Right now, typically, we're not going to open with a defensive strat. We may end up moving to it. We usually want to always open with the neutral strat. But once we've decided that we can't be competitive in additional corners, what we really want to do is shift to the defensive strat, where what we're mostly trying to do is take and hold our corner as much as possible. So we want to do the base fill strat on our tech repository, which is this guy right here. We have MMs and CEs there. You want to try and do it on our tech repository, because even if we're being overpowered, it's still a deterrent for our opponents. They lose troops coming to our corner. We want to try to do it as much as possible to use a base fill strat on our tech repository at least, right? Now, the primary focus is to take and control our corner. If we're able to successfully do that, but we're not able to do it to another corner, so we've used the base fill strat on our tech repository. Maybe we're using it on our tech trial sites, or the no base fill strat on our tech trial sites. The other thing that we want to start doing is we want to start picking off other tech trial sites around here. Keep an eye out for tech repositories if we can take them, but it's less likely that we can take them because they're going to be keeping an eye out on them, right? Now, what you want to try to do is you want to try to hit two tech trial sites in place of one repository, if possible, because they give you the same amount of points. 2 tech trial sites is equal to 1 tech repository. Now, people always focus on their tech trials, on their tech repositories, right? They're always focusing big time on their tech repositories, but sometimes they start to forget about these tech trial sites, right? Now, what you don't want to do if we're in a defensive strat, you don't want to take all 3 of these tech trial sites if you don't have to for the points, because then you're going to start to call attention to the corner. Instead, what you want to do is you want to pick one of these off, and then maybe go over here, look at one of the weaker ones, pick one of these off. You want to try to spread it out, especially when we're in the defensive strat, because really we're trying to accumulate points without having to fight for them that much, right? Now, again, as with any strat, the other thing that we need to be doing is we need to be in the crystal mines. We need to be gathering bounty points, and especially in the defensive strat, when we don't have a competitive advantage, where we're not stronger than our opponents. As you come in here to these tech trial sites, before you flip them, try to pick up the gems, because as soon as you flip them, you're going to call attention. You might call the attention of a big who's going to come and port you out. So as you port in, immediately start collecting all the gems that are around. And that's not just on this tech trial site, right? Like you can come here to this tech trial site and even start picking up gems that are all the way over here, But yeah, pick up the gems. Try to go unnoticed as much as possible. Keep trying to flip tech trial sites as much as possible. If it's possible, flip a Nexus hub or a teleport gateway. See if we can hold those. But again, we're in the defensive strat because we're just at a competitive disadvantage. So really, we're trying to scrounge for as many points as we can. And don't forget about this hover station. Send marches to the hover stations, right? You guys have any questions, concerns, feedback, please let me know.